बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदनंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदनंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रजजन रंजन यशोदनंदन व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। वरिष्ठ वाला संबल डिवोटीज, हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Hare Krishna devotees. Let us start with 20th verse, then 21st and 22nd verse. Just let me confirm once again the verses. Yes, the verses are 20, 21 and 22 from 19th chapter, 3rd canto. गिरयः प्रत्यादृश्यन्ता नानायुधा मुचो अनघा दिग्वासासो यतुदान्यः यातुदान्यः शूलिन्यो मुक्तमूर्धाजः गिरयः प्रात्यादृश्यन्ता प्रत्यादृश्यन्ता नानायुधा मुचो अनघः दिग्वाससो यतुद्यान्यः शूलिन्यो मुक्तमूर्धजः गिरयः प्रत्यादृश्यन्ता नानायुधा मुचो अनघः अनघा दिग्वासासो यातुदान्यः शूलिन्यो मुक्तमूर्धजः. Word to word translation. Girayaha, mountains. Pratyadrishyanta, appeared. Nana, various. Ayudha, weapons. Muchaha, discharging. Anagaha, O sinless Vidura. Dik vasasaha, naked. Yatudanyaha, demoness. Sulinyaha, armed with tridents. Mukta, hanging loose. Murdajaha, hair. Translation and purport by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O sinless Vidura, mountains discharged weapons of various kinds, and naked demonesses armed with tridents appeared with their hair hanging loose. Next sloka. Bahubir-yaksha-rakshobhihi pati ashvarata kunjaraiha atatayabihi rutsrista himsra vacho ativaishashaha Bahubir-yaksha-rakshobhihi pati ashvarata kunjarahi atatayebhir utsrista himsara vacho ativaishyachaha Bahubir-yaksha-rakshobhihi pati ashvarata kunjarahi Atatayebhir utsrasta himsra vacho ativaishashaha. Word to word translation. Bahubihi, by many. Yaksha Rakshobhihi, Yakshas and Rakshasas. Pati, marching on foot. Ashwa, on horses. Ratha, on chariots. Kunjaraihi, or on elephants. Atatya-ibihi, ruffians. Utsristahi, Utsristaha, were uttered. Imsraha, cruel. Vachaha, words. Ati, Vaishashaha, murderous. Translation. Cruel and savage slogans were uttered by hosts of ruffian yakshas and rakshasas who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, elephants or chariots. Sloka 22. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Yes, scrolling. Yes, Pradushkritanam mayana Asurina vinashaya Sudarshanastram Bhagavan Sudarshanastram Astram Bhagavan Prayunkta Daityam Tripat Pradushkrutana Mayana Ashrinam Vinashaya Sudarshanastram Bhagavan Prayunkta Daityam Tripat Pradushkrutana Mayana Asurina Vinashayat Sudarshanastram Bhagavan Prayunkta Daityam Tripat. Word-to-word translation. Pradushkrutanam, displayed. Mayanam, the magical forces. Asurinam, displayed by the demon. Vinashayat, desiring to destroy. Sudarshana Astram, the Sudarshana weapon. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prayukta, through. Daitam, beloved. Tripath, the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Translation. The Lord, the personal enjoyer of the all sacrifices, now discharged his beloved Sudarshana, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the demon. Purport. The famous yogis and demons can sometimes enact very magical feats by their mystic power. But in the presence of the Sudarshana Chakra, when it is let loose by the Lord, all such magical jugglery is dispersed. The instance of the quarrel between Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambrisha is a practical example in this matter. Durvasa Muni wanted to display many magical wonders, but when the Sudarshana Chakra appeared, Durvasa himself was afraid and fled to various planets for his personal protection. The Lord is described here as Tripath, which means that he is the enjoyer of three kinds of sacrifices. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord confirmed that he is the beneficiary and enjoyer of all sacrifices, penances, and austerities. The Lord is the enjoyer of the three kinds of yajna. As further describes in Bhagavad Gita, there are sacrifices of goods, sacrifices of meditation, and sacrifices of philosophical speculation. Those on the paths of jnana, yoga, and karma all have to come in the end of the Supreme Lord, because Vasudeva Sarvamiti. The Supreme Lord is the ultimate enjoyer of everything. That is the perfection of all sacrifices. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Tashkurun Niditam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sadhitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Cha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Sada Kanta Namastute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpa tarubhasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschashya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Vinamine Acharya Padaya Nitya Padaya Gaura Hare Krishna, devotees. Welcome to morning Bhagavatam class, ISKCON Seshadripuram. And today's verses are 20, 21, 22 from 19th chapter, 3rd canto. So the 3rd canto is all about, let us see the background, then we will get into the slokas. The 19th chapter or the 3rd canto deals about the status quo. What is meant by status quo? The status quo means the government, it is like a government passed some amendment. Now the government is coming and checking whether those things are in place or not. Just like rechecking, the amendment, whichever is being, implemented like that. So that is all about this 3rd canto, status quo. And the 13th chapter, the killing of demon Hiranyaksha. So we know, so Lord always, incarnates to annihilate the Duskrutas. So here the first demons of this, understanding from Srimad Bhagavatam is Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So Hiranyaksha, who is so powerful and trying to conquer and doing all mischievous activities. So Lord wants to control and annihilate this particular personality. So that is all about a little background for the chapter. And before getting into the slokas, the first sloka to 29th sloka deals about Hiranyaksha Varahadev fight. So Lord took many forms we know in the past, and here today's discussion and today's verse, Lord in the form of Varahadev, and why he took in that form, those things and all we have discussed more elaborately in the previous slokas. And in this particular, what I can say, episode or continuity, the fight continues. So long, time the fight continues, and it's a Lord's will. We cannot question why it is like this, that, and that. And then various illusions created by Hiranyaksha. So even various illusions with us also. So we also put some mask, and then we go and do all our austerity. That this even material activities also is concerned. So we in the sense, I will put it myself. We have so much of anarthas with us, with so much of demonic qualities like Hiranyaksha. So only with Krishna consciousness that could be removed. This is a thin line about today's topic, what we are going to discuss. And then so there are so many illusions created by this demon Hiranyaksha. So for example, in the 18th sloka it was explained, terrible winds started to blow and stones started falling in all directions. And then in the 19th sloka it was mentioned, it started raining pus, stool and urine, and the sky became devoid of constellation due to the clouds. So all these things, all Nasakaryas being initiated by this magical demon Hiranyaksha. And today's discussion, I will just keep it. And what it continues after seeing all this episode of these 3 slokas, what we are discussing, the Diti began, Hiranyaksha's mother began to tremble with fear, and she remembered her husband's prediction, right? Because we know the background, so with the lusty desire, Diti joined with her husband. So these are the consequences, all are, Lord's plan only. And even the worst is blood started to flow from her breast. So these all are, this is out of our scope for discussion, today's discussion. And we will get into, today's, the fight continues and what the Lord, reacts to that. There are 3 slokas. In the translation of 20th sloka, we deals with, O sinless Vidura, mountains discharged weapons of various kinds. So how it will be? The mountains, so like a machine gun, how the bullets, triggered, it's coming out. Like that, mountains also discharging weapons, different weapons, which is coming out of, from the mountain. How it looks, the gigantic mountain, from piercing that sand and rocks and this thing. So many kinds of varieties of weapons are coming out. Not only that, the demon is coming with naked armed with tridents, appeared with their hair hanging loose. So how it looks, the demonesses, with full of loose hair and so much of demonic quality, and with naked presence coming and trying to destroy the entire atmosphere like that. Then in the next sloka, cruel and savage slogans were uttered, murmuring, so many bad words, all these things, by host of ruffian. Ruffian means what? The bullish, all this very tough people, right? And yakshas and rakshasas, right? How they appears, who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, all the direction. Some are running and coming like that. Some are coming with horses. Some are coming with elephants. Some are coming with chariots to attack Varahadev. Then now this is the climax. The Lord, the personal enjoyer of all sacrifices, now discharged his beloved Sudarshana, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the demon. So these are the displayed by the demon. So these are the translation of these three slokas. Now we will get into the purport with some details. So in the purport, what we are going to discuss is, first we will discuss about Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambrisha. That story, it's so relevant to these slokas. And then the perfect understanding about jnana, yoga, karma. And then if possible, we will see what are demonic qualities. So only Hiranyaksha, only not a demon. So what are the demonic qualities there in us from Bhagavad Gita, we will discuss. This is a simple overview. These three constitutes what we are going to discuss for another 30 minutes or more than 30 minutes. This is all about that. So straight away we will move to the third topic which I mentioned, because the first two slokas deals with demonic qualities, but how in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned demonic qualities. So here some of the demonic natures, how it is piercing, all these things. So it is so relevant. I thought we can discuss about demonic qualities, then we can connect to what is the Lord's reaction to that. So I'd like to share that slide, then it will be good. Yes. So demon, we are telling what actually the demon is all about. The demon is all about pride, the qualities of demon: pride, anger, arrogance, conceit, harshness, ignorance. It is with everyone, right? How we deal it with, what is this nature? Let us have some more detail about relevant to first two slokas. So the first two slokas describes the act of all the demonic qualities. So here we have seen all these 6 qualities represents demonic nature. If at all we have pride, if at all we have anger, arrogance, conceit, harshness, ignorance, we have to be mindful. Oh, these all are the qualities coming out of me, like that. Then nature, how the nature would be. These are the points from the 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita. They do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. They don't know. This is Lord's arrangement. How these qualities are coming, nobody can question. With our analytical ability, with our 200 grams of mind capacity, we have to measure everything. Definitely, it is not possible. And this is one of the symptoms. They do not know. This is one of the nature. They do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Hiranyaksha is the whatever I am going to quote from 16th chapter. Just it is a representation of Hiranyaksha. They do not follow Shastra. Yes, obviously, if they follow Shastra, why is going to fight with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So they do not follow Shastra. And unclean nature, and there is no proper behavior. They will not be unclean. So pus, urine, that rain and all, that's such a magical things, he established. And not truthful and self-centered. They all are not truthful and their mind always self-centered. Then what is their philosophy? Next clarification. World is unreal with no God in control. World is unreal, it seems, and no God in control, it seems. And what is their philosophy? No cause other than lust. So lust is the only desire. That is the philosophy. And thus, this world is produced of sex desire. This is the philosophy of demonic quality. And what is the attitude and engagements of demonic qualities? What is the attitude towards anything? The demonic are lost to themselves and have no intelligence because of illusion. Lost to themselves and also have no intelligence. That is the attitude. And then sense gratification is the prime necessity of human civilization. So we ourselves can, measure how, I'm putting for myself, I'm equating with how much attitude, a person is having with prime necessity of human civilization based on sense gratification. Only, we put so many things across us, I am this, I am that, I have been this. So many this, with eye specialist, we put ourselves with so much of attitude. Okay. What is this demonic, go and engage. Always, what is their mind and what is their engagements? Engaged in unbeneficial, no profit, nothing, unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Prabhupada always mentioned Ugra Karma. They get into all Ugra Karma activities with false proprietorship. I am the owner of this. I established this. I established that. I built this, etc. They always engaged in that mood. And secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Most important. Secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Hiranyaksha is not far away from us. Hiranyaksha is within us. Clearly it is visible. Secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. 90% or 70% of the world running behind this, today's media and everything is the evidence for that, including we are also part of it. And what is the mentality? Okay, next. Engagement, we understood. What is the mentality of demons? They take shelter of insatiable lust. Shelter for the lust only, with all material consumption only. Kama, always kama. No other desire. That is the only prime goal, prime mindset, always taking, towards that. That is the real purpose of life. Always Prabhupada mentioned, we are always in Maya. That is illusion. And here it is lust. They are absurd in the conscient of pride and false prestige. Absurd always in, I am this body, identity. Name anything. There are, so many opulence. So they identify, I am the richest, I am the most knowledgeable, and then I am the most beauteous, and I am the most learned, etc., etc. I am the most renounced, behind that. So that is the mentality. And then always want to unclean work and attracted by impermanent. So always, unclean work. So we know how important, the cleanliness, even Western philosophy says cleanliness is next to godliness. So what are the activities we do? All contamination, unclean, all contamination we have. What is that? Illicit relation. So where is the question of cleanliness? And intoxicating. Where is the question of cleanliness. And impermanent. This is the mentality. And most important, I am the controller and the enjoyer. 99%. That is the reason we are born here. I am the controller and the enjoyer. Why we are born in this world? Because of this mentality. I am the controller and I am the enjoyer. And the next mentality, I am perfect and powerful. Whatever I say, argument say, that is perfect. No. So such attitude, demonic mentality. And powerful. So I am so powerful. Next mentality. My enemies are defeated and I am happy. My enemies are defeated, I am happy. So always feeling happy. This, gaming spirit. So I am the winner. I am the winner. I am the looking at the life. Some people will say life is all about game. Only we have to win. Forget about losing. Always you try to give tough all this stuff by keeping this demonic mentality. I am the Lord of everything that I survey. So everything happening, around because of me only, right? Self-centered. These all are the demonic mentality. And what they do. This is a mentality, theoretical concept. And let us get into the practical concept. Result of demonic work. So with that mood, if somebody is getting into some of the activities, and then what would be the result of it? Perplexed by various anxieties. So there is no end. Further, next. And one after the other, anxieties will come. So in one of the temple lecture, it is here, Prabhu, could you come to temple and to take some bhakti? No. Let me get a children. Then, okay, later on, Prabhu, can you come to take some bhakti? To Bhakti Vriksha or something. No, let me, seek admission for my children. Prabhu, can you, come for some bhakti? No, let me put my son or daughter into marriage or, very nice college. Then later on, this, that. Finally, let me see my grandchildren. Never ending, this. So these anxieties will keep on arise until we are in the demonic or material platform. And then network of illusions. The result is what? Network of illusions. This is that. Whatever you gain with this mentality, the result is illusion only. Network of illusion. Not only one. Network of anxiety, network of illusions. Too strong attachment to sense enjoyment. Too strong. It will be, the result will be strengthening more and more, chewing the shoe. More and more. There is no taste, but the person with illusion feeling that it is very tasty. And finally fall down to hell. Right? This is the result of demonic work. Then what is their preaching? Not only that, they develop taste in that. And not only that, they go and preach also. What they will preach? Keep God aside. Because they are envious of God. You talk, some people will tell you, talk practically how it is possible. God, whether God will come and stop this, offenders like that, non-believers. Right? Not only that, they don't have belief on saintly persons and scriptures. And also envious. These people, totally different like that. And next preaching, they proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulation. So only for the name, donating, one tube light and writing the whole tube light, their name, that for their namesake. Preach that whatever path one creates is one's own path. There is no standard path. So according to me, always the philosophy starts with according to me only in the demonic preaching. Others concoct their own God. They will tell, their own God. They manifest, with their own God and their own philosophy like that. Some preach that God is dead. God is gone like that. Rama also struggled and he left. Right? So now I am so great than God. That is the mood. And others say, you are all yourselves God. You are also God, I am also God. That is a Mayavada philosophy. And then Okay, finally, what is their end or fate of demonic people? So that is what 22nd sloka gives the detail. So that is similar to this fate of demonic is from 19th sloka and 20th sloka of 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita deals. They are perpetually cast into various demonic wombs in the ocean of material existence. So they will be again and again take a birth in the various demonic wombs. Attaining repeated birth among demonic species, such persons can never approach me. They could not attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So again and again, Punarapi Marana, Punarapi Janma. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable types of existence. Sink the most abominable type of existence. Out of 14 planetary system, keep on, they will go down. And finally, they glide down to hell. This is the fate of demonic. So we have to be careful, be mindful, and be careful with all this demonic mentality. So which is most important for the lessons from the first two slokas, that is 20 and 21. And let me read the purport of 21st sloka, sorry, 22nd sloka, which deals about how the Lord, releases Sudarshana Chakra. Okay. The purport says, I told, 3 or 4 things, we will discuss. Even famous yogis and demons can sometimes enact very magical feats by their mystic power. So let us understand this mystic power and why Prabhupada is quoting Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambrisha, right? So we all know the story of Ambrish Maharaj. So Ambrish Maharaj is very simple and he is an emperor and he is also a devotee. So that is what Prabhupada quoting. See, Ambrish Maharaj is a Vaishnava, he is a devotee, and this Durvasa Muni is a mystic yogi. Right? We will understand properly what is different kind of yogic process and all those things. And let us understand why Prabhupada is giving this example is, so as we all know, Ambrish Maharaj is a very wonderful emperor and entire world. He is a great devotee of Lord Narayana. And with king means, what? So with all his opulence, he was, doing so much of spiritual activity. And then, and he always worships, a lot in Vrindavana. And one fine day, Dwadasi, day after Ekadasi, he was about to break his Ekadasi fast. The great mystic yogi. So this word is very prominent. He is a mystic yogi, Durvasa, appeared in his house and become his guest. Right? So this mystic yogi is a very significant word. So let us try to discuss a little bit, elaborated way, what is this mystic power and etc. There are 8, siddhi, ashta siddhis are there. So they all are siddhis. So there is anima siddhi, lagima siddhi, prapti siddhi, mahima siddhi, isitva siddhi, vasitya siddhi, prakamya siddhi, kama vashyatya siddhi. So there are 8 siddhis are there. And one famous example Prabhupada always quotes when we deal about the siddhis. And first we should understand the siddhis are not putting in a lower stage. Why? Because we should understand the self-realization process. So generally 3 possible paths are there for self-realization. So I'd like to share one more slide for better understanding. Otherwise, we will not have proper perception towards what we are going to discuss. The second thing what I would like to relate in this is, see here I am highlighting some of the points. There are 3 paths, right? I hope the screen is visible. How to pursue self-realization. The self-realization paths could be understood in 3 ways. One is path of knowledge. The another one is practice of 8-fold yoga system. The third one is devotional service, bhakti yoga. I will connect to Durvasa Muni and Amrish Maharaj, Amrish, Maharaj story later after understanding these three processes. So the self-realization could be happened through Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. See, this Jnana Yoga is full of dry, only theoretical, so much of philosophy that this and that. And Ashtanga Yoga, we know the eightfold, yoga system mainly deals about Dhyana Yoga there. And finally, the devotional service, that is what Amrish Maharaj followed. And then further understanding with why Durvasa fallen from his position because of following, this process. What is that process? One should understand further detail about Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. This is the, some knowledge behind, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga is important before getting into the story between Durvasa Muni and Amrish Maharaj. See, this Jnana Yoga is Nishkama Karma Yoga. It starts with Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga means giving the result to the Lord, plus knowledge and renunciation. That renunciation is Nishkama Karma Yoga. So here mostly this Jnana Yoga emphasizes more about Nishkama Karma Yoga plus knowledge and renunciation. This is the further detailed understanding. Then this Jnana Yoga plus meditation, we call it as Ashtanga Yoga. Right? The yogis all fall under, this second category. What is this? Jnana Yoga plus meditation. With this, they will get some mystic power. Just now we seen, some 8 mystic power, all those things and all they get into. And the third one is Bhakti Yoga. That is what Amrish Maharaj, followed. What is this? Ashtanga Yoga plus realization of Krishna in devotion. How to understand further? Ashtanga Yoga also inclusive of that. And what is this realization of Krishna in devotion is, in further understanding, when Ashtanga Yoga comes to the point of realizing Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Bhakti Yoga. The Ashtanga Yoga comes to the point of realizing Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Bhakti Yoga. They are also marching, this Ashtanga Yogi is also marching towards that, but they caught up with this, all these siddhis and all these other, opulent atmosphere what Lord is created. And how to perfect way of understanding this Bhakti Yoga is, Krishna consciousness is the highest rung of yoga. Example, Mount Everest is the highest peak of Himalayas. Is the highest peak of Himalayas. So this point I thought of giving a more clarity towards this. And most importantly, we will come back to this Durvasa and Amrish Maharaj story. Yes, during that next day of Ekadasi, Dwadasi day, Amrish Maharaj respectfully received Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni, after accepting the king's invitation to eat there, went to bathe in the Yamuna river at the noon time. Amrish Maharaj, upon seeing that the time to break the fast was passing, drank a little water. Dwadasi, we all know, Dwadasi day, the devotee should break the fast with some grains. Or some elevated souls like, them can break the fast even with water. In accordance with the advice of learned Brahmanas, by mystic power, Durvasa Muni could understand this. This is the point one should understand here. By mystic power, Durvasa Muni could understand this. He is so learned, no doubt about it, and he could understand. He is in the river bank of Yamuna, and he is seeing that so and so person is doing this act. Right. Then immediately he was very angry. Then he came. Then what he has done, he chastised Amrish Maharaj. You invited me, and then so what I'll do? You're disrespected me. What purpose he is using his mystic power, is the emphasized one here. And then he immediately released, fire of death into the demon, the fire demon appearing in front of, Amrish Maharaj, and then the Supreme Personality of Godhead to protect Ambrish Maharaj sent his disc, Sudarshana Chakra. That is what our 22nd sloka, which immediately vanquished the fiery demon. So, which annihilate Dushkruta immediately, which was released by Durvasa Muni. Upon seeing that his own attempt had failed and that Sudarshana Chakra was moving toward him, Durvasa Muni became very frightened and began to run in all directions to save his life. Durvasa Muni keep on running to save his life. Sudarshana Chakra is chasing him. Sudarshana Chakra always there to protect the devotees. Then we know Durvasa Muni went Brahmaloka for the protection. Nothing has happened. Then he went to Shivaloka. Nothing has happened. Then finally he went to Lord Narayana, Vaikuntha. There also he bowed down to Lord Narayana and he was asking to excuse. Then Lord replied, to be excused from such an offense, one must submit to the Vaishnava whom he was offended. There is no other way to be excused. Thus Lord Narayana advised Durvasa Muni to return to Ambrish Maharaj and beg his pardon. So finally Narayana told, my dear Durvasa, it is not at all possible. You have done a Vaishnava aparadh. It is your duty to go and ask the forgiveness from a Vaishnava. Following the order of Lord Narayana, Durvasa Muni immediately went to the Ambrish Maharaj and fell at his lotus feet. See the mood. Seeing Durvasa Muni at his feet, Ambrish Maharaj prayed that Sudarshana Chakra be merciful to the Muni. So the devotee can give mercy. With the Guru's mercy, one can understand Lord. With Lord's mercy, one can get Guru. Here it is also synchronized here. Durvasa Muni approached the Lord. Lord shown the path of a devotee. Then devotee shown the mercy of the Lord. So this is like that to be understood. And then Sudarshana Chakra being appeased, refrained from killing Durvasa Muni. After this incident, Ambrish Maharaj gave Durvasa Muni very nice food to eat, prasada to eat. And then the king, who had been standing in the same place for 1 year without eating anything, also took, prasada. Right? So that is beauty of, the pure devotee. How humble the devotee supposed to be. These are the qualities the pure devotee is qualified for the Lord's, mercy. That is most important. And let us relate some of the Prabhupada's example here about this Laghima Siddhi. This Laghima Siddhi deals about a person becoming more lighter than the air, lighter than the lighter. Prabhupada gives this story, four annas story. So one Siddhi is telling, Yoga Siddhi is telling, I am so opulent, and he was exhibiting in the common forum. All of you come and see, I'm going to use my mystic power to walk on the river, on the water, to cross the river. Then one devotee came in that way and he told, okay, my dear Yogi, you are so great. You are walking on the water. That is good. But for that, you have spent so much of, years and also in a different, planetary system. You have taken a birth and then you are exhibiting all these qualities. But in Kali Yuga, that is not possible. But I am spending by 4 annas, I am crossing this river. What you have done with so many janmas, with so many, tapasya and, all other yogic activities which you got into. And with 4 annas, I have fulfilled, that one. So what is a big, thing in that? Keeping the Lord away and, exhibiting all these things for personal name and fame. And another example, from Prabhupada, the P.C. Sarkar was a very great magician in India, and who could do so much of, magical act all over the world with all celebrities and one day some coincidence was there with Prabhupada program and, this P.C. Sarkar program. It had happened someplace. And in that place, generally people have this mentality. Swamiji, can you bring out gold from, your mouth? Can you bring out some, siddhis, some activities like that? Then he told to P.C. Sarkar, my magic is Could anyone remove birth, death, old age, and disease? He asked the question. Then the entire audience told, no, not possible. That is the magic here. So with Krishna's and with Guru's mercy, one could overcome this, vanish this birth, death, old age, and disease, which is not possible by this mystic yogis. And another example given here, Prabhupada, very famous for known hippies to happies. So Prabhupada converted all these hippies. Hippies, we know, their philosophy is only sense gratification, like animalistic civilization. They wanted to re-establish that. That was their philosophy. And Prabhupada went and the Prabhupada, made them, to realize that is not the real purpose of life, from hippies to happies. So then entire crowd was, telling this, would you think this is not the mystic or this is not the magic? So the understanding is, if the one who is a perfect devotee, then all this jnana yoga, all this, karma yoga, all are built in. So we have gone through the combination of this self-realization process. What is that self-realization? Nishkama karma plus knowledge and renunciation, jnana yoga plus meditation, ashtanga yoga. All these things will be inclusive if the one who comes to the platform of realization of Krishna. What is this realization of Krishna? Krishna consciousness is the highest rung of yoga. It is like this. Mount Everest is the highest peak of Himalaya, peak of the Himalayas. So this is the understanding. So you do that, this and all, everything is fine. But if we are not arriving to the conclusion of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service, we may end up, there is no guarantee, we may end up with some other result. So that is a problem, or that is a danger in all other process. But in Kali Yuga especially, all those things are not possible practically. So one who comes to this Bhakti Yoga or devotional service, automatically all these siddhis, all these qualities imbibed within the devotees, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. That is what Prabhupada given, this example of Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni here. Durvasa Muni basically a mystic yogi with so much of pride. I have this, power. See, he is in the river bank. He could, see what Amrish Maharaj, is doing. He had some water to break the fast. So he realizes that. Then how he reacted? So totally, it is in the perception of not understanding the devotional service. Amrish Maharaj understood thoroughly what is the complete surrender to the Lord. So he understood, he was protected with Sudarshana Chakra. That is the meaning of this. And further understanding about mysticism, these mystic powers and liberation are the two sons of Bhakti. It is already inclusive. Liberation is missing from whom? From Amrish, from Durvasa Muni. He has got mystic power, but there is no liberation from him. So Bhakti is the two, as the two sons. One is mystic power and another one is the liberation. When we do Bhakti Yoga, all other two will come automatically. That is the conclusion here. And great personalities have mystic power, but they do not use it for their own sense gratification or for gaining name. But in today's world, all this magical power only for personal name and fame, coming and doing some magical activity and getting the attraction of the crowd. Even if they have, they hide it. Many times, the past times, many devotees shares. One day night, 12 o'clock, Prabhupada was giving, lecture with louder voice inside the room. One Mataji was seeing, in the keyhole. Prabhupada was so loudly, he was giving a class. To whom he was talking, for what purpose he is doing that, nobody knows. Right? Even though many people associated, many devotees associated with Prabhupada, Prabhupada never shared, all those qualities. Very, some of the pastimes, like when Prabhupada was giving class, Prabhupada told, put the chair there, Narada Muni had come and, Lord Shiva had come, something, he was telling like that. So they never exhibited openly because they are moved. This is the inclusiveness of this mystic power and liberation. They have not exhibited that so clearly, like this, that I am, so and so like this. They are empowered, souls, no doubt about it. They are not, given that as a center of attraction for what they are. Their purpose is to give glories of the Lord. So this is all about, understanding about this clarity in three different types of self-realization process. And then further, Prabhupada explains the Lord is described here three path. So three path means whatever yajna you do, whatever the path you follow, jnana yoga, karma yoga, and yoga, all these things, we have seen that clarity. I shared this slide also for more clarity on what is bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, and ashtanga yoga, all these things. And all have to come in the end of Supreme Lord, because Vasudeva Sarvamiti. The Supreme Lord is the ultimate enjoyer of everything. You speak of any yajna, he is the yajnapati, it will reach the Lord only. That is the perfection of all sacrifice. That is the perfection of all sacrifice. This is the conclusive meaning of this particular purport. The translation is the Lord, the personal enjoyer of all sacrifices, now discharged his beloved Sudarshana, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the demon. What is the display? What displayed by demon is there is a cruel and savage slogans were uttered by a host of refrain yakshas and rakshasas, who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, elephants, or chariots. They are marching towards the Lord Varahadev, to fight. And O sinless Vidura, mountains discharged weapons of various kinds, like AK-47, all the triggered, all the bullets are triggered from that, or what do you call that? So many tankers are supplying so much of big bombs like that. And along with that, the quality of the demoness, they are also with tridents, and then appeared with loose hair, hanging loose hair in a naked body, and they are coming and trying to attack the Lord. Then Lord invoked his chakra to destroy those illusions. So we have seen more detailed way what is meant by demonic qualities, and what is the other related or associated things about the demonic activity. So here I would like to stop with the conclusion of these three slokas. So Lord is there always with Sudarshana Chakra, and always we should come out of all this demonic quality. So once again, thanks for all the devotees and temple authorities for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna. So if you have anything to share or anything to ask, you are most welcome. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. It was a very nice session.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So anybody could add anything, you are most welcome, or to share your realization, most welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Danda Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhu, there is a very wonderful class, Prabhuji. And I had a small question like, normally, Prabhu, we are, what we understand is we are not this body, we are soul. But to realize that it's, we don't realize, actually, I don't realize this normally. Whenever somebody says, okay, oh yes, we are not this body, we are soul. So how do we practically apply it, Prabhuji? Because as it was self-realization, as you said, but the realization doesn't come. So how exactly one should be serious about it? How can we have this thought 24 hours a day in our mind? Please, can I?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice question, Prabhu. And Hare Krishna, Vidura Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Could you add anything to this question, Prabhu, or you can later on it.
Okay, so this is the process, whatever you are asking. In fact, that is what is spiritual life all about, right? You and I are actually spending an hour here today trying to, attend a class or do whatever. The idea of all of this is actually what to get to what you are trying to achieve, right? How can I be Krishna conscious 24/7, right? See, the process is, the point is in Krishna consciousness, the process and the end result both are the same. It is like, for example, sometimes you try to gain knowledge, and the process is, you study in the school or college or whatever, but with that knowledge you do something else. So that seems to be the end result. The process is something else, but the end result is something else. Like, after doing the process, you do something else. But here, the process and the end results are the same. That means, if you are chanting here, you are trying to chant or hearing Bhagavad Gita or doing Kirtana, this is assuming this is process. What is the end result? That means the end result is also to continue to chant, continue to hear Bhagavatam. If you go to spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan, there also you are going to be hearing the glories of the Lord, you are going to be chanting, you are going to be singing, you are going to be dancing, what you are doing here only. So the process and the end results are the same. Therefore, the idea is, how can we continue to somehow or the other keep in this kind of a circle? And we know there are so many challenges all over, and that's what this question keeps coming. How can I be attached? How can I be attached? The only way is try to be with like-minded people. Before all of these things, the only thing which actually inspires, because Krishna consciousness is a way of life. If you are isolatedly trying to do any of these processes, it is very, very high probability that we will fall off. We have seen this many times. However you look great, one looks great, in devotion, but the minute the person is isolated, slowly all the other anarthas come into the head. So the idea is simply to ensure we are attached to the people or the devotees who are actually in the process of devotion. And the more we are there, the more chances that we are actually 24/7 engaged. This is very practical, we are seeing in our life. Today, for example, if you had missed this class, most probably we may be doing something else which is not fully connected to this Krishna consciousness. But somehow you manage to put this time, then you find the bliss. Right? This is natural, and we see it every day. Practically, we see these things. So that is the only way. It may look very, difficult, but so many people say that, right? Sir, initially to come here only is the problem. But once I come, I am so happy. Starting chanting is the problem, but once you start chanting, you can't stop. Like attending a kirtan, if you are there in the kirtan, you are dancing and jumping and all that. But to get to the temple or wherever the kirtan is happening is a challenge. So how to overcome that? Have inspiration to have association with devotees. Then these things will automatically come. This is natural. There is nothing extra that we have to do, or it is not artificial. That quality of devotion or love for Godhead is there in us. But the inertia is there because of our attachment to material nature. Somehow that initial push, if you are able to give, once you are there, then it is an automatic mode. Like, your nature takes over. You really start enjoying the bliss. So this is how I am thinking. The elaboration is always there, we follow the A, B, C, D, all that. But the most important thing is get out of the inertia, try to be in association with devotees. Everything will automatically follow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. In the line with what Vidura Prabhuji is mentioning, see, in Nectar of Devotion, it is given that example given like how Dhruva Maharaj, positioned. So initially he was, need of Father's kingdom, therefore engaged himself in devotional service to the Lord. So that he started with some material benefit only, right? Then in the end, when he was completely purified, he declined to accept any material benediction from the Lord. That is the progress. You're right. I could not relate or how one could, reach that stage like Vidura Prabhu rightly, mentioned. So we could engage, 1 hour for other activities also. Why we are getting into association with, devotees and all these things. And similarly, Gajendra was distressed and prayed to Krishna for protection, after which he became a pure devotee. Similarly, Sanaka, Sanatana, and Sananda, Sanat Kumara were all in the category of wise, saintly person, and they were also attracted by devotional service. A similar thing happened to the assembly in the Naimisaranya forest, headed by the sage Sanuka. The sage were inquisitive and were always asking Sutta Goswami about Krishna. Thus, they achieved the association of a pure devotee and become pure devotees themselves. So, that is a way of elevating oneself. So, that is a way of elevating. So, that always, even last week class also, Vigna Vinasaka Maharaj mentioned that Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. There should not be any conflict among, these three. And also we should align with that. The person who is aligning with this, definitely one day they will become pure and they will realize always, one famous this thing about Guru Maharaj. When Guru Maharaj was sleeping and then, turning, that time, he was chanting, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the pure devotee's, position. So at least in my thing, I am not in that level. So it is possible by everyone, even provided with the opportunity to start with some point, then gradually it will happen with the, it is a very, scientific process. One could elevate undoubtedly. That is what the conclusion about, this thought process. Hare Krishna. Nice question.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very clear. Dandapada. Jai.
Hare Krishna. Okay, if no more questions, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Thanks for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.